Alright, well, we're almost to 2 million. We got 1.6 now. Request another mission, and we've got a thermal shield hardener, and we'll get a bonus reward. This first time I think we'll actually get just a bunch of cash, which I am all for. Go to our item hanger. We're gonna strip our civilian booster and replace it with a regular, and then we'll get that civilian thermal hardener, which hardeners are real nice, especially if you know what kind of enemy you're up against, because you can more or less just say, no, I don't want to be damaged today, if you know who you're fighting and you use the right combination of hardeners. There's somebody's that's an exhumer, I think. Yeah, it's a Mac. Nice. Mackinaws are cool. I have a Mac on one of my other, actually I think a couple of my other characters. And of course I have at least 1 or 2 Hulks laying around. I really love mining, but it has to be with people. I can't mine on my own. For one, I get tempted to multi-box, which is the greatest of sins. And 2, okay, so he's just trying to convince me to join his pirates or something. Which, it would be cool, and maybe, you know, if you guys want to see that, we could do that at some point, like, go out and get aligned with a pirate faction. But, I mean, that's a whole other bag of worms. Yeah, that's an expression. Yeah, we'll just let that go, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna track our target so we can just watch the maneuvering happening. 'Cause that's real cool. Oh, I should probably turn my support modules on as well. Yeah. Now I'm really not being touched. But I will say these modules are particularly important if you're going against harder stuff, like if you're doing combat sites or higher level missions, or Triglavian, like whatever their little space hole things are. I forget what they're called off the top of my head. So yeah, if you're running Triglavian sites or anything like that, you definitely want to make sure you know what you're up against. Which there are some great tutorials out there. I think I have a couple of videos that aren't really directly tutorials, but are, you know, just sort of a preview of it. Of course, there are several EVE Online creators who are fantastic. I tend to lean on a couple of them, mostly. But yeah, anywho, let's continue to whittle this guy down as that goes along. It's the only problem with doing things live is I can't speed past the grindy parts like I do on YouTube. That's okay. We're here to have fun. Here to enjoy the vibe of a game and just sort of go on through. Now, why I am not really breaking these guys' tank is honestly beyond me. Maybe I should try and rearm myself to be a little bit better suited. Maybe I need to slow down my lateral velocity some, so I'm hitting more often, because I'm definitely missing. I want to do set default orbit to about 6,000 and see. Oh, optimal range is actually within 3. We're going to go to 2.5. You'll notice though that now that I'm out here, it's way better. You guys can't see it, but we'll put this here so you guys can kind of track where, well, he's already moved. Anyway,
warp drive active.
that is something too you want to be aware of, is your optimal distances and stuff. If you're using guns, if you're using missiles, it's a little different. You're going to be more aware, want to be more aware of the size of the missile versus the size of the target. So if your missile needs to be a smaller munition than the target, that's a very, very short version.
Docking
Lasers
requested. Docking request accepted.
I think have an optimal range as well. I can't remember though, because I don't use them, because I'm not an MMOR player, typically speaking, as cool as lasers are. Because they're really cool. I have an oracle on Karina Kasanumi, my main character, one of my oldest characters, called the Rainbow Connection, and just for the memes, it has every color of laser on it, because I thought it'd be funny to have an oracle named the Rainbow Connection. Let's see here. Alright, so we've got some unclaimed rewards. We'll go over here. It's another little over 75k. We're over 2 million now, which is good. And we're also moving along, you'll kind of see some of it here, moving along this little progress track, which will get us some skill points, which is nice. Let's have a look at our item hanger. Nothing major going on here. I think we get a plug-in, like a optic, I think it's perception implant, which is super cool. We love to see it. Okay, we're gonna warp to another site. We're almost done with cash flow for capsuleers. I don't remember which mission we're on specifically. It doesn't really matter. There are 10 in each of these series, and yeah, they're worth doing. Let's see. We got 45 minutes on drones. I don't think we're gonna have the build we want to do a whole lot of crazy stuff, but we actually should be able, if we play our cards right. Okay, if we play our cards right, we should do pretty well when it comes to
warp drive active.
what are freelance jobs? Any type of plagial clays, you say? How much? 1 million. Okay, that's a whole other thing. I don't know anything about that. We're gonna fight. Oop. Turn these on. I do want to look at freelance jobs. That's a new thing, I think. I don't know where Luz is. I don't know anything about Luz. It could be the deepest, blackest hole in the universe, full of pirates and angry people. But if I can deliver plagio clays to it for 72 million ESK or whatever that was, I'm gonna do it. Hold up there. And he's gone. And that's the thing, is like once you work out your distances and you work out things like what rounds to use on what targets, you just pop things. And the game becomes a lot simpler. The thing is, though, the game, there is a bit of minute-to-minute strategy and second-to-second strategy, especially playing PvP and harder missions, but a lot of it is just how you build things to begin with, how well you prepare for your next encounter. That's going to be 80% of it. And that includes knowing things like your engagement ranges. That's, again, this is all my opinion. I am doing that thing where I say opinions as empirical fact, and while I am as close to infallible as a walrus can be, that doesn't necessarily mean that I am. So experiment yourself, get experience yourself, and you'll find the rhythms that work for you. But be sure to, of course, tune in anytime you see my sweet walrusy face on your feed. I may just have something to say that you could benefit from. And even if that's not the case, maybe you'll just find me relaxing and enjoyable and friendly. That's all I'm really here to be. Hey, daily goals, that's another great thing. If you really run those down, if you really put work into air daily goals, you can do yourself some favors. So if you go into opportunities, you can see all the cool little things you can do and the rewards you can do, and you get another 500 ISK right there, real easy. Let's go ahead and finish this guy off since we're close enough to fight him. Okay. It is W, right? Yeah. And he's blopped. And he's blopped. We're gonna have to rearm soon, but that's not that big a deal. Let's just continue to do our thing. Now, there is an argument in some places for carrying multiple kinds of ammunition and being ready to switch back and forth between the two. This is not one of those places, however. We're going to go to that acceleration gate and we're going to go through it. Make sure to reload your stuff. In things like Triglavian sites, though, that could be a different thing altogether, because Triglavians, of course, they go and they suck ships, right? They suck ships out of space or whatever. I don't know how they end up with them, but they end up with ships from all over the place. They have different abilities, and so from room to room, you can end up with different ships. You need to just be ready for that. I remember that from doing Triglavian sites, whatever they're called.
Warp drive active.
I don't feel like that's too relevant in most mission types, but that could be wrong. I will say though, different ammunition types also tend to have different ranges. So sometimes you'll want an ammunition type that you can just slap things from, right? You can just have a really good flight time, so they just go as long as you want them to, right? Missiles are really one of those things where that's a big deal, but also rounds for your like artillery. If you're, for whatever reason decided to subject yourself to flying Minotaur ships, or which actually some of them are cool. It's a meme. Anyway, the other thing is, and I'm supposed to split that up. Okay. So anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so different rounds have different ranges and things like that, different capabilities. You want to be aware of those things and aware of the situations you're going into to help kind of prepare for that. Yeah. That's my whole thing. We're almost on the 2-hour mark. We're at 1:45. So here, probably once I get docked, we're gonna kind of see where we are in cash flow for Capsuleers. And if we're at a good place, then I'm gonna take a couple of minutes to just get some water, like shake my legs out. Y'all should do that too if you're watching. I don't want y'all getting blood clots. Don't want y'all getting cramps. Those are bad. Go get some water. Go touch grass. So yeah, as soon as we take a break, go do that. I'm gonna go do that. I'm probably gonna touch grass because grass is icky. And I'm just kidding. I actually really like being outside, but I'm not going outside here. Yeah, just we'll all take a break together, probably about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back, do our thing. And we'll continue on our Zero Hero to run. Our first drive is to 10 million ISK, and you can only find it here on YouTube or Twitch, actually, so it's not really only one, it's both, it's either one. But it's only here on my channel, the Steel Walrus. The only channel on YouTube or Twitch that sounds like me and looks like a walrus. Yeah, alright, we're having fun with that. Somebody said the other day you should find your only statement, that you're the only this that does that, right? Well, that's what I got. I'm the only channel on YouTube and Twitch that sounds like me and looks like a walrus. 'Cause I got nothing else to say. We'll figure it out. I tend not to gatekeep information. I want people to know as much as possible, and I'm probably one of the only tutorial video makers that does that. Because really, it seems like a lot of people out there, they'll tell you everything but one thing. And that one thing is something you gotta pay for, right? Or they may not tell you it at all. But I'll tell you, I don't care. The only thing I'm selling here is t-shirts, boys. And statistically, like 8/10 of a girl. So yeah, which Redbubble, I have some cool stickers and stuff on if you like that. I, again, don't really like pushing those sorts of things. But I also like being able to pay the rent. I don't really have too much to worry about with that, but I do like being able to pay it. So, yeah. Actually, I guess at this point, I keep forgetting that it's not rent anymore. I'm just paying bills because I have a house. There's bills for it. Insurance, yeah. Helps me pay for the insurance in case it mysteriously catches fire. Anyhow, okay, we've got our first implant. And plug it in. And there we go. Our shit's a little bit better now. Anyhow, we are going to take just a couple of minutes, like I said, probably 3 to 5 minutes to get up, move around, get some water, shake our legs out, whatever we got to do. Then we'll come back and we'll continue playing EVE Online here on the Steel Walrus Network. Yeah. All right, and be sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow if you're on Twitch, and pray to the great internet gods wherever else you happen to be watching this. Or just the regular normal god. He's a cool guy. All right. I don't have really a sign off for the be right back, so be right back. Well, it may not have been as long a break as I anticipated, but it'll do. Let's go ahead and get back to it. I'm going to fit this to our active ship. Goes in a low slot, so I don't have to worry about it having a spot. And yeah.
Warp drive active.
And we'll warp on out. How far along? Okay, we're at 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, I got 3 million ISK already. I think we'll be okay. Alright, there's something here. All right. And hit it. Uh-oh, there's even more to fight. Something exploded. That's all that matters. All right, turn our attention. We're going to be making a lot off of bounties from this fight, though. That's good. I don't want to jinx it. We may not even need a repper. We'll probably need a repper, let's be honest. You gonna hit eventually? Let's get that lateral velocity down. Maybe that'll help. Of course, that's a slightly chunkier enemy than what we've been dealing with. We might want to switch it up and try and knock off some of the support vessels. But we've got their armor down. We're into their hull. And we'll be okay, I think. Yeah, there you go. Now we only have so much room. Don't you start missing. Okay. That's what I thought. Start hitting them. Start boosting. Let's go. And we need to zoom in on this guy here. Let's make sure we actually turn in. All right, we're doing okay. I kind of feel like we're... Let's orbit at 5. It's typically, when you got a booster on, you kind of need to tell your ship to orbit a little tighter for it to orbit where you want it to orbit. For whatever reason. I hate it. I think it's dumb, but it's the way it works. Alright, besides, and that's something I kind of ignored, is our optimal range is 3,300, not 7,000. For whatever reason, my brain just glued us to that. So that was the other thing. So remember to read your tooltips. Always remember to read your tooltips and really understand what they say. And make sure that you're making decisions based off of the right numbers. Because brains are tricky things like that. Okay, we got another one down. 2 more to go, probably. Okay, we are going to lose a little bit of progress as we reload, if we have to reload, which I hope we don't. Of course, we might just miss every fucking shot. Okay, we're starting to pick up again. That's good.
A module has run out of charges.
Oh no. Luckily, our civilian came in clutch. Yeah. This is going to be one of those fights, isn't it? Like, it's real hard, quote unquote hard, and then it's real not. And there we go.
Warp drive active. Docking permission requested.